Am I the a-hole for refusing to be nice to my autistic sister? I, 16M, have a younger sister, 14F, who was diagnosed with autism when she was 3. From the very beginning, my parents were told by professionals how to support her, what steps to take, and how to help her adapt. But instead of following even half of that advice, they basically ignored 90% of it and decided to use her diagnosis as an excuse for every bad behavior she has ever shown. And it's not just excusing her. They defend her to the point where anyone who calls her out or doesn't want to put up with her behavior is labeled ableist. Parents who don't want their kids around her? Ableist. Kids who don't want to be her friend? Ableist. Teachers who call home about her disruptions? Apparently, they're discriminating. It's exhausting. At home, my sister basically gets to do whatever she wants. She throws food at the dinner table, grabs food off other people's plates, disrupts meals, and eats dessert before dinner without permission. If anyone tries to stop her, she'll scream, kick, or throw a full-on tantrum. And my parents' response isn't to discipline her. It's to tell everyone else in the room that we should let her be because she's autistic. It doesn't stop at home either. We've stayed with my aunt and grandparents, and she behaves the same way. One time, at dinner, my grandma told her not to take food off my plate. My sister responded by chewing food and spitting it directly into grandma's mouth. Another time, she spat on me when I told her to stop stealing from my plate, and then when my grandpa tried to step in, she threw mashed potatoes at him. And somehow, my parents managed to blame me and my grandparents for not just giving in to her demands. Because in their world, saying no to her is cruel. When we go shopping, I get roped into being her personal assistant. She doesn't ask politely for help, she orders me around. If she wants something from a shelf, she'll just tell me to grab it. If I say no, she complains to our parents, and guess who gets in trouble? Me. She stomped on my foot before in the middle of a store because I wouldn't grab what she wanted. And once again, no consequences. Now, I do understand that overstimulation is real. I've seen her get overwhelmed in loud environments, and I know she needs space to calm down. I can handle that. But that's not the issue here. The problem is when she has meltdowns, she hits things, breaks stuff, and lashes out. During lockdown, for example, my mom let her use my Switch even though I needed it for school breaks and to decompress. She overstimulated herself playing non-stop, had a meltdown, and ended up breaking it. When I asked who was going to replace it and said she shouldn't be allowed to touch my stuff anymore, I was the bad guy. Birthday parties? She doesn't get invited anymore, and for good reason. She used to rip open other kids' presents because she couldn't stand waiting. She'd cry and throw tantrums when she couldn't take home toys she wanted. At one party with a bounce house, she tried to shove kids out because she wanted it all to herself. At another, she slobbered over an entire pizza because she didn't want to share. Naturally, parents stopped inviting her, but my parents frame it as everyone else being cruel. She has an IEP at school, which is meant to give her support. Instead, my parents act like it's a license for her to do whatever she wants, without consequences. Unsurprisingly, she has no friends. Now that we're at the same school and share a lunch period, my parents think it's my job to sit with her and look out for her. I refuse. I don't want to spend my limited free time being her babysitter or punching bag. At home, I barely speak to her. When I do, it's cold, blunt, and sometimes outright rude, because that's all she's ever been to me. My parents hate it. They say I'm too cold, too uncaring, and that I should try harder to be her brother. My sister hates it too. She complains that I don't hug her, that I don't say nice things to her, that I don't tell her I love her anymore. Last week, she cried because someone at school called her names. My parents expected me to comfort her. Instead, I rolled my eyes and ignored her. Because the truth is, she says mean, nasty stuff to me all the time, and my parents let it slide. Why should I rush to defend her when she's never once defended me or shown remorse for what she does? And here's the kicker. I know autism doesn't excuse everything. I have a friend who's autistic. There are 2 other kids in my grade who are autistic too, and I've known them since kindergarten. Sure, they have challenges, but they work on them. They apologize if they hurt someone. They try. My sister, she doesn't try at all because she's been raised to believe she doesn't have to. My parents don't care about any of this. They only see me as the problem because I won't pretend she's this poor innocent victim. The truth is, I'm past caring. If my sister were to get arrested one day for hitting someone, I wouldn't be sad. I'd celebrate. That's how done I am. So, am I the a-hole for being cold and uncaring to her, when I know autism isn't what makes her a nightmare to be around?